Okay, this next example I've got here down at the bottom of the screen. This is a think, pair, share activity. So this is one that you as a student are tasked to try on your own first. So what I've done here is I've already worked this out, but I've put the answer across the top. So the answer is Jerry did 7 crossword puzzles. So knowing the answer, try to work this out on your own. Pause the video now, and when you come back after you try it, you can watch the solution of this one. So go ahead and pause. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you gave this a try. And, here's the solution as I worked it out. So let me kind of walk through this. I guess what I'll do is I'll just kind of scan through the rest, of this solution. You can pause this video and check it against your work. And, just go ahead and advance to the next video if you got everything right. But if there's a part of this that you didn't get right, let's explain it at this point. Okay, so this problem says Jerry worked Soduko puzzles and crossword puzzles this week. The number of Soduko puzzles he completed is 8 more than twice the number of crossword puzzles. He completed 22 Soduko puzzles. How many crossword puzzles did he do? So again, we're talking about Soduko and crossword puzzles. So I'm going to use the letter S to represent the variable for the number of Soduko puzzles that Jerry did, and C to represent, to be the variable to represent the number of crossword puzzles that Jerry did. So S is the number of Sudoku, and C is the number of crossword. And, I'll skip down to maybe this sentence here where it says he completed 22 Sudoku puzzles. So here, right off the bat, we're being told that S equals 22. Now, let's see here. Now, this sentence right here, the number of Sudoku puzzles he entered is 8 more than twice the number of crossword puzzles. So this is actually describing an equation. So the number of Sudoku puzzles, so S, he completed is, whenever you see the word is, that's a keyword for equal sign, okay, is 8 more than, so 8 more than twice the number of crossword puzzles. So twice the number of crossword puzzles. So this is how this sentence translates to this algebraic equation, this linear equation. Okay, so we've pretty much gone through the whole problem. The last part is, what this word problem is asking for. How many crossword puzzles did he do? So we need to find the value of variable C. So looking at what we got, so even though we've got 2 unknowns, and typically you would need 2 equations to solve for 2 unknowns, what's nice about this word problem is we were given the solution to one of those unknowns at the beginning. So we're going to be able to substitute my laptop stops pausing here. Here we go. We're going to be able to substitute our value of S into this equation that we derived from the word problem. And when we do that, we're going to be left with 1 equation and 1 unknown, okay, which is a good thing. So now let's look at our expectations. So what do we expect are the relationships here with our variables in this word problem? So number 1, we expect that the number of crossword puzzles we're going to get is either going to be 0 or positive. So we're expecting C, our answer, to be a positive number. If we get a negative number, there's a problem. We also expect the number of Sudoku puzzles to be greater than the number of crossword puzzles that are done. And, you know, deriving that from this relationship here in this equation. So we can see that in order for everything on this right-hand side to be equal to the number of Soduko puzzles, we need to take the number of crossword puzzles and beef it up, you know, add to it, multiply it to make it larger so that it equates to the number of Soduko. So what that kind of is telling me, what this relationship is telling me, is that the number of Soduko puzzles is greater than the number of crossword puzzles. All right. And furthermore, and this is another expectation that's a little different than what I maybe noted in a previous example, is that the number of crossword puzzles is also going to be less than half of 22. So remember, the number of Soduko puzzles is 22. So how do I know that the number of crossword puzzles, how do I know to expect that the number of crossword puzzles should be less than half? Well, if the number of Soduko puzzles, you know, was equal to, but if the number of Soduko puzzles was equal to 2 times the number of crossword puzzles, okay, that would be kind of like saying 22 is equal to 2 times 11, right? 2 times 11 is 22. So the number of crossword puzzles, you know, is half the number of Soduko puzzles, okay, if this was all we had. But now we need to take whatever number of crossword puzzles we've got, not only double it, but we have to add 8 to that, so that all of this equals the number of Soduko puzzles. So this value isn't going to be 11. This value is going to be less than 11 because we need to add 8 to whatever that number is in order for it to equal 22. So that's telling me that the number of crossword puzzles we have also has to be less than 11. Okay, that's a little bit more of an advanced observation, but that's the reason why you're here, is to maybe see things differently, to learn a new way of looking at things, you know, and how to interpret these algebraic relationships and think a little more critically about them. So that's an added expectation we can look for. So now that we've, you know, identified the relationships with the variables from the word problem, and we've set up some expectations for our answer, let's go about solving it. So here we're going to look at our equation, which is s equals 2c plus 8. And we were told that the number of Soduko puzzles is 22. So we can substitute 22 in for s. All right, so we get 22 equals 2c plus 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. And 22 minus 8 is 14. The 8s will cancel and be 0, leaving us with just 2c. Then we can divide both sides by 2, and the 2's will cancel. So 14 divided by 2 is 7, and that should be equal to c. And now we can check our answer for c against our expectations. So is c a positive number? It is. Is the number of Soduko puzzles greater than the number of crossword puzzles? Well, is 22 greater than 7? It is. And this last expectation, is c less than 11? So is 7 less than 11? It sure is. So this answer that we got does satisfy our expectations. So we can feel pretty good that our answer is correct. And so now we can write our answer as a sentence. Jerry did 7 crossword puzzles. Let me know if you have any questions.